You know those moments in life when you feel overwhelmed with decisions, doubts, and endless thoughts? We've all been there, right? But what if I told you that the secret to unlocking your greatest potential, to finding peace and success, lies in not thinking too much? Yes, you heard that right. Stop overthinking. It's not about ignoring your feelings or the situations in your life. It's about realizing that sometimes the power to move forward lies in just acting and being present. Trust me, it's a game changer. Every time we overthink, we create a storm in our minds. It's like standing under a downpour of thoughts, each raindrop representing a doubt, a question, a worry. This constant barrage of mental noise can feel overwhelming, like you're drowning in your own thoughts. And the more you try to clear your mind, the more the storm intensifies. But here's the truth we all need to hear. Overthinking, it doesn't lead to clarity, it only creates chaos. Consider this. Have you ever found yourself replaying the same scenario over and over in your head? Maybe it's a conversation you had with a friend or a mistake you made at work. You keep asking yourself, what if I had said this? Or what if I had done that? You become trapped in a loop of endless possibilities, trying to figure out a way to change the past. But here's the thing, you can't change the past. All this overthinking does is steal your energy and peace in the present moment. This is the danger of overthinking. It pulls you away from reality. It keeps you stuck in a place where you're no longer moving forward. You're not solving problems. You're merely spinning in circles, waiting for an answer that doesn't come. It's like trying to drive a car while your foot is constantly pressing the brakes. The car can never move forward as long as you're afraid to take your foot off the brake. Overthinking is the brake. It holds you back, keeps you in place, and prevents you from moving toward the life you deserve. Think about the times when you've had to make a decision, whether it's about a new job, a relationship, or a change in your personal life. How many times have you found yourself paralyzed by too many options, too many what-ifs? Overthinking leads to indecision. You keep asking yourself, what if I make the wrong choice? The fear of failure, the fear of making a mistake stops you from taking action. But here's the thing, if you never make a choice, you're choosing nothing. And nothing leads to stagnation. Sometimes the only way to move forward is to trust yourself and make a decision, even if it's imperfect. It's the only way to break free from the endless cycle of overthinking. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She's been working in the same job for years, and while it pays the bills, she knows it's not her passion. She's always dreamed of starting her own business, but every time she thinks about taking the leap, she starts to overthink. What if I fail? What if no one buys my product? What if I'm not cut out for this? These thoughts cloud her mind, and as a result, she never makes a move. Sarah spends her days in a constant state of worry, never taking action because she's paralyzed by the fear of what might happen. Over time, she becomes resentful of her job and frustrated with herself for not taking action. She's stuck in a mental prison built by overthinking. Now imagine if Sarah had stopped overthinking and just acted. What if, instead of endlessly worrying about the future, she took one small step toward her dream? Maybe she started by researching the market or creating a business plan. The key is that she would have been moving forward, not sitting stagnant, waiting for the perfect moment to act. But overthinking stops us from even getting started. We think we need to have all the answers before we take the first step. But the truth is, the answers come when you start moving. The universe rewards action, not hesitation. Overthinking also takes a toll on your mental health. It creates anxiety, stress, and sleepless nights. You start to feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders because your mind never rests. Thoughts swirl around, demanding your attention, and you end up feeling drained and exhausted, not because of physical activity, but because your mind is in overdrive. Imagine trying to carry a heavy backpack all day long. It's exhausting, right? But what if you could take that backpack off and let your body relax? That's what happens when you stop overthinking. You lighten the load, and your mind can finally rest. Here's another powerful truth. Overthinking makes us miss out on the beauty of the present moment. When you're stuck in your head, obsessing over what could have been or what might be, you miss out on what's happening right now. You miss the laughter of your friends, the beauty of the sunset, or the joy of a simple moment of connection with a loved one. Life is happening in front of you, but you're too busy looking back or worrying about the future to notice. You're not living fully because your mind is elsewhere. Overthinking can also destroy relationships. How many times have you overthought a text message or a phone call from someone? You start reading between the lines, analyzing every word and creating scenarios in your head. What did they mean by that? Why didn't they reply sooner? Maybe they're mad at me. This mental spiral can make you feel insecure, anxious, and distant. But in reality, the other person may not even be thinking about it. They're just living their life while you're trapped in your own mind, creating problems that don't exist. I want you to understand something. Overthinking steals your power. It robs you of your ability to act confidently, to enjoy the moment, and to trust yourself. The longer you stay in this cycle, the more it controls you. But the good news is you can break free. You can choose to stop overthinking and start living. It takes practice, but it's worth it. You are worthy of peace, of clarity, and of action. It's time to silence the storm in your mind and take control of your life. The power to move forward is in your hands. Don't let overthinking hold you back any longer. Your mind is a powerful tool. It's the compass that guides your every move, the engine behind every action, and the source of your greatest potential. But so often we see our mind as the enemy. We fear it, try to control it, and even run away from it. We think it's working against us, filling us with doubts, fears, and insecurities. But here's the truth. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your ally. It's time we stop fighting it and start learning how to work with it. Think about the times you've felt overwhelmed by your thoughts. You've had that constant stream of worries, doubts, and endless what-ifs that make you feel like you're losing control. It's easy to think that your mind is your enemy when it keeps bombarding you with negative thoughts. You wonder, why am I like this? Why can't I just feel at peace? But what if I told you that those thoughts, as chaotic as they might seem, are not your enemy? They're simply signs that your mind is trying to tell you something. Your mind is reacting to the world around you, to your experiences, and to your inner world. But it's not out to get you, it's out to protect you, to help you survive and thrive. Consider the way we approach fear. When something triggers fear inside us, our minds go into overdrive, imagining all the worst-case scenarios. Our hearts race, our palms sweat, and we feel paralyzed. Fear in this moment feels like the enemy, but fear is not a villain. It's a signal. It's your mind's way of telling you that something matters, that something requires your attention. Fear is a natural response, a protective mechanism. It tells you that you're about to step outside your comfort zone. And while that might feel uncomfortable, it's where growth happens. Without fear, you wouldn't take the necessary steps to challenge yourself. You wouldn't face the unknown and you wouldn't push past your limits. Fear, when understood, becomes your ally, not your enemy. Let's take a moment to think about one of the most powerful ways our mind works against us. Self-doubt. How many times have you stood in front of a mirror, questioning your worth, wondering if you're good enough? Your mind starts to tell you you're not capable, you're not smart enough, you'll never make it. It feels like your mind is your enemy in that moment, doesn't it? But if you pause and listen, you'll realize that those voices of self-doubt are not coming from a place of truth. They're coming from past experiences, from societal conditioning, or from comparisons to others. Your mind has absorbed these messages over the years and it's simply repeating them. But here's the key. Those thoughts are not your truth. Your truth is that you are worthy. You are enough. You are capable of more than you could ever imagine. The mind may try to convince you otherwise, but if you stop listening to those negative voices and start listening to your own inner wisdom, you'll see that your mind is not the enemy, it's just confused. It needs your guidance to get back on track. Now let's think about your inner critic. The voice that tells you you're not doing enough, that you're not achieving enough, that you're not enough. It's easy to see this voice as the enemy, especially when it's relentless, constantly putting you down. But the truth is, this inner critic is not an enemy. It's a byproduct of your desire for growth. It's pushing you to do better, to reach higher, to achieve more. But if you give it too much power, if you let it control your every move, it can become toxic. The key is to learn how to manage it. Acknowledge it, but don't let it dictate your actions. Recognize that your mind is trying to protect you from failure, but sometimes that protection becomes a cage. It's up to you to break free from that cage. and allow yourself to take risks, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. Think about the times when you've been faced with a difficult decision. You've been at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. Your mind fills with conflicting thoughts. What if I fail? What if I regret this? What if I make the wrong choice? It's easy to feel paralyzed by indecision, but that's because your mind is working overtime, trying to find the perfect answer. But here's the truth. There is no perfect answer. There is no perfect path. Life is messy, unpredictable, and beautiful precisely because it's not perfect. Your mind may be trying to protect you from making a mistake, but mistakes are not failures. They're learning experiences. The more you trust yourself, the more you learn how to navigate the uncertainty of life with confidence. Let me give you an example. Think about the first time you learned how to ride a bike. Do you remember how your mind filled with doubts? What if I fall? What if I can't balance? But despite those thoughts, you got on that bike. You pedaled, and eventually you found your balance. Your mind told you to be cautious, to be careful, but your heart told you to keep going, to keep trying. You didn't let the fear in your mind stop you. You trusted yourself and your ability to learn, to grow, and to succeed. Your mind wasn't the enemy, it was simply trying to keep you safe. But your ability to push past that fear, to trust in your own potential, made all the difference. When you start to realize that your mind is not your enemy, you begin to see it for what it truly is. A powerful tool that can be used for growth, healing, and success. But like any tool, it needs to be managed, directed, and understood. The key is not to fight your mind, but to learn how to work with it. Your mind is not trying to sabotage you. It's simply trying to keep you safe. But if you let it run unchecked, it can keep you from living the life you're meant to live. The power is in your hands to guide it, to train it, and to use it to create the life you truly desire. Trusting the process is one of the most powerful acts of faith you can give to yourself and your journey. It's the belief that even when things don't make sense, even when the path ahead seems uncertain, the pieces are falling into place exactly as they should. Too often we want immediate results, immediate answers, immediate gratification. But life doesn't work that way. Growth, success, healing, and transformation take time. They happen in their own rhythm, their own pace. And the only way to truly embrace the beauty of that journey is by trusting the process. Think about a time in your life when you faced something difficult, when you felt completely lost, unsure of where you were headed. Perhaps it was a job change, a tough breakup, or a health struggle. During those times, it's easy to think that you're stuck, that things aren't moving forward. You wonder, why is this happening to me? You start to doubt everything, your decisions, your choices, your future. But what if that struggle, that period of uncertainty is exactly where you need to be? What if, just like a seed in the soil, you are being nurtured in ways that you can't yet see? Take a look at the journey of a caterpillar. It crawls slowly and steadily, inching its way through its world, but then it enters a cocoon, a period of complete darkness and isolation. On the surface, it looks like nothing is happening. The caterpillar is still in a small confined space, but inside something beautiful is unfolding. The transformation, the growth, the beauty all happen in silence, in a space of patience and trust. It's a reminder that even when you feel stuck, even when you feel like nothing is changing, trust that something is happening on the inside. Think about a person who has worked hard to achieve something they've always dreamed of. Maybe it's a business, a career, or even personal growth. You see them in their success, but what you don't see is the process that got them there. You don't see the sleepless nights, the failures, the struggles, the moments of doubt, or the setbacks. What you see is the result, the finished product. But what made that result possible was an unwavering trust in the process. They didn't give up when it got tough. They didn't give in when things didn't go according to plan. They trusted that their hard work, their patience, and their persistence would pay off. And that is the kind of trust you need to develop in your own life. One of the most powerful examples of trusting the process comes from the world of athletes. Consider someone like Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players in history. He didn't become a legend overnight. In fact, he was cut from his high school basketball team, a devastating blow that could have crushed his confidence and his dreams. But instead of giving up, he trusted the process. He put in hours of practice day after day, knowing that every failure, every setback was an opportunity for growth. His trust in his journey is what made him who he is today, a testament to the power of persistence and faith in the process. And what Jordan did with his talent, you can do with yours. In our daily lives, we often expect instant results. We want to see quick progress, whether it's in our fitness goals, our career paths, or in our personal development. But the truth is, progress takes time. It's the consistent effort, the small steps, the daily habits that eventually lead to big changes. Think about someone who starts a new workout routine. At first, it feels like nothing is happening. You might not see physical changes right away. But if you stick with it, if you trust the process, you begin to notice small improvements. More energy, increased strength, better mood. Over time, those small changes compound. And before you know it, you've transformed your body and your health. That's the power of trusting the process. You may not see the results immediately, but if you keep going, they'll come. The same goes for personal growth. We all go through difficult seasons in life, where it feels like nothing is moving forward. We struggle, we fail, and we experience pain. But each of those challenges, each of those moments, is part of the process of becoming who we are meant to be. There is no straight path to success or happiness. Life is messy, filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. And in the midst of those challenges, we are learning, evolving, and growing into stronger versions of ourselves. Trusting the process means allowing yourself to experience those ups and downs without giving up, without losing hope. It means believing that the setbacks are not the end, they are the beginning of something greater. Consider the journey of someone starting a new business. The first few months or even years are tough. They face rejection, struggle with financial instability, and doubt themselves. But they trust the process. They know that success doesn't come overnight. They believe that if they continue to work hard, to learn from their mistakes, and to adapt, they will eventually break through. They keep showing up every single day, even when it feels like nothing is happening. And eventually, the pieces fall into place. Customers start to come in. The product gains recognition, and the business begins to thrive. It didn't happen because of a miracle. It happened because the person trusted the process. Trusting the process is about letting go of the need to control everything. It's about surrendering to the journey, trusting that the universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in has a plan for you. It's about understanding that you can't rush the timing of your life. Things will happen when they're meant to happen, not when you want them to. And the more you try to control everything, the more frustrated you'll become. Trusting the process is a reminder that everything is unfolding in divine timing. Your only job is to keep moving forward, keep taking action, and keep believing that it's all happening for your highest good. Life will never be a straight line. There will be highs and lows, victories and defeats, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. But through it all, the key is to trust the process. Trust that every step, every twist, every turn is leading you exactly where you need to go. Your journey may not look like you imagined, but it will be exactly what you need to experience in order to become the person you are meant to be. So, let go of the need to control the outcome and embrace the beauty of trusting the process. Because everything you desire is coming to you in the perfect time, in the perfect way. You just have to trust that it's already on its way. Letting go of fear is one of the most liberating and transformative things you can do in your life. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. It's the emotion that keeps us alert, cautious, and in many ways safe. But when fear starts to control us, when it holds us back from stepping into our full potential, that's when it becomes a barrier. Letting go of fear isn't about denying its existence. It's about recognizing its grip on you and deciding that you are stronger than it. It's about trusting that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you, even when it seems impossible. Think about the last time you felt paralyzed by fear. Maybe it was the fear of failure that kept you from taking that next step in your career, or the fear of judgment that prevented you from speaking your truth. Maybe it was the fear of the unknown that stopped you from pursuing a new relationship or moving to a new city. Whatever it was, fear likely made you feel small, insecure, and trapped. But fear is not your enemy. It's a signal. It's telling you that you're about to face something important, something that matters to you. And the key is to understand that fear doesn't need to control your actions. You are not meant to live your life in a constant state of fear, but in a state of courage and possibility. Let's look at a simple example. The first time you learned to ride a bike. I'm sure at some point you were terrified. The thought of falling, of losing balance was enough to make you hesitate. But despite that fear, you kept going. You trusted yourself. You trusted the process. And you trusted that you could handle the challenge. With each attempt, you became stronger, more confident, and eventually fear no longer held you back. You got on that bike and you rode. And in that moment, you realized that fear wasn't something to run from. It was something to move through. When you face your fears, you take away their power over you. Fear doesn't always look like a big, obvious monster. Sometimes it's subtle. It's the quiet voice in your head that says, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? It's the fear of not being accepted, of not being loved, of not being enough. But here's the truth. Fear is often a reflection of your own self-doubt. When you doubt your abilities, when you doubt your worth, fear fills the space. It tells you that you can't achieve what you want, that you don't deserve success, and that you should play it safe. But the more you listen to that voice, the more you allow fear to make decisions for you. The key is not to fight the fear, but to recognize that it's only a story your mind is telling you. It's not the truth. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life who inspire you. Do you think they've never felt fear? Of course not. They felt it too. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that they don't let fear stop them. They feel the fear, they acknowledge it, but they don't let it dictate their action. Think about the famous stories of entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders who faced massive obstacles, doubts, and fears. Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, they all experienced fear, but they didn't let it hold them back. They took risks, they stepped into the unknown, and they followed their passion despite the fear. They trusted that no matter what happened, they would learn, they would grow, and they would be okay. And that's the mindset that allowed them to achieve greatness. Letting go of fear doesn't mean you stop being cautious. It means you stop letting fear paralyze you. It means you stop waiting for everything to be perfect, for all the lights to turn green before you take action. It means you trust yourself enough to know that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's about understanding that life is not about avoiding fear, but about moving forward in spite of it. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. You have the power to take the wheel and steer your life in the direction you want it to go. Let's think about fear in terms of making big life changes. Perhaps you're thinking of leaving a job that doesn't fulfill you, or perhaps you're considering a big move, like moving to a new city or starting a new business. The fear of the unknown can be overwhelming. You worry about making the wrong choice, about the uncertainty of the future, about what others will think. But here's the thing, uncertainty is a part of life. It's the birthplace of opportunity, growth, and new beginnings. If you constantly let fear of the unknown stop you, you will remain stuck in the same place, never moving forward. But if you choose to move forward, even in the face of fear, you'll open yourself up to new possibilities you never imagined. The truth is, fear is often a sign that you're growing, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, that you're ready for something more. It's easy to stay where it feels safe and familiar, but that's not where your dreams are waiting for you. Your dreams, your potential are on the other side of fear. When you choose to let go of fear, you choose to take control of your life. You choose to trust that you are capable of more than you think, that you have the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Think about a time when you took a risk, no matter how big or small, and it paid off. Maybe it was taking the first step in a new relationship, launching a project you were passionate about, or standing up for yourself when you were scared to. In those moments, you let go of fear and trusted in yourself. You showed up for yourself, even when you were uncertain, and it made all the difference. That's what happens when you let go of fear. You begin to trust that you are enough, that you are worthy of success, and that you have the strength to face whatever challenges come your way. Fear is not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. Every time you face it, you grow. Every time you push past it, you become stronger. Letting go of fear doesn't mean you'll never feel it again. It means that when fear rises, you will no longer let it control you. Instead, you'll use it as fuel to propel you forward, knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes next. It's time to stop letting fear dictate your life. It's time to let go of the power fear has over you and embrace the courage, the strength, and the possibilities that lie on the other side. When you learn to let go of overthinking, decision-making becomes easier. Life is full of choices, from the smallest ones, what to wear, what to eat, where to go, to the biggest ones, who to marry, which career path to take, what to stand for. We are constantly faced with decisions that have the potential to shape our future. And yet, one of the things that holds most of us back from making the right choices is the fear of making the wrong one. The fear of regret, the fear of failure, the fear of what others might think. But let me tell you something, the more you overthink, the harder it is to move forward. The more you analyze every possible outcome, the more paralyzed you become by the sheer weight of the decision. This is where letting go of overthinking becomes your greatest ally. Imagine a time when you were stuck in the middle of making a decision. Maybe it was choosing a job offer, deciding whether to end a relationship, or even whether to take a leap of faith in your personal or professional life. The more you thought about it, the more confused you became. You weighed every single option, thought of every possible outcome, and in the process made yourself so unsure that you couldn't move. That's the trap of overthinking. It clouds your judgment and makes even the simplest decisions feel like life or death choices. But when you release the need to control every possible scenario, decision-making becomes not just easier, but also more empowering. Let's take an everyday example. Have you ever had to decide what to eat for lunch? It seems like such a simple decision, but sometimes we find ourselves stuck in an endless loop of, should I eat this or that? What if I regret my choice later? You stand in front of the menu or your fridge, unsure of what you really want until you become overwhelmed and frustrated. The more time you spend thinking about it, the harder it becomes to choose. But here's the reality. It doesn't matter what you eat. The truth is, if you stop overthinking and simply choose something, the decision is already made and you can move on with your life. The longer you hesitate, the more time you waste and the more energy you drain. In the grand scheme of things, that decision doesn't hold any real weight. But if you practice making choices in moments like these, it becomes easier to apply that same confidence to bigger, more impactful decisions in your life. It's the same with major life decisions. Think about the last time you were making a big choice.